Welcome back here on Prime Morning, and we are very, very excited. It's been a good day. Yes, we love that. We're up in the very last lap, and it's a celebration of beautiful things that have been done over the period and still continues. So, but of course, you always want to send us your messages to let us know what you think about our conversations, and you can do so on social media and also on our WhatsApp line, which is always very active. We're active on social media as Joy Prime TV, on Instagram, on Twitter, and TikTok. If you're on Facebook, we're streaming live, and it's Joy Prime. So that's the only difference. The TV is the only difference. So if wherever you want to go to, just go and drop your messages over there. And please do well, to add your name to it and let us know what you think about our conversation. So this morning we're very elated, extremely elated, and it's something that some of us maybe will come as a surprise. Others will just look at it because maybe one way or the other they followed, and so they know that it was getting to that point. But let me first of all talk a little bit about my guest in the studio, and then we'll get into the conversation. So take a look at this. When I come back, I'll let you know what exactly we're looking at today here on and this very segment. Stay with us.
You don't know I've been dodging people.
What are you dodging for? You be boxer? Or you do somebody?
Is that man coming here?
If they come here, sir, I'll not be thief. But you will waste time. Make we enter the kiosk. Eh?
Pusha, please, where are you putting your hand? Huh?
Oh, why are you rushing? That place. Okay, you are come out to my hand. Make you enter the kiosk. I'll go block you so nobody will see you.
Oh, Pusha, please. Today, I'm not feeling for this thing.
Yeah.
All right, so let me just walk you through this. All right, so Adjetey Anang was born on the 7th of July 1973. He's a Ghanaian actor that we all know. He's also popularly known as Pusha, like you know, and that actually gave him that big recognition on television in Things We Do for Love. He attended Laboni Senior High School and studied fine arts at the University of Ghana, Legon. He also obtained a master's in dramatic arts and Wits University in Johannesburg as well. Now, some of the movies he has actually featured in include The Perfect Picture, A Sting in the Tail, Deadly Voyage, and a Dutch movie entitled Slavery, which are all classic movies, that have won a lot of, recognition awards in their own respect. Now, Adjetey Anang gained a lot of recognition from his role in Things We Do for Love, like you just saw over there, and he's won Best Actor awards from various award programs since 1997. That's for the past 26 years he's been in this field and counting. He has also won the AMVCAs by multi-choice and awards, 2 of the best awards programs on the continent, absolutely no doubt about it. He's also won the prestigious Emmy Awards twice for Best Actor, and he's married, yes, to Mrs. Elom Anang, and has a son called Rayan. And for those of you out there who probably have lost touch of who this person is, and we're talking about today, there you go. But I mean, it gives me the biggest joy to actually do this. It's going to be part of one of the things that I'll cherish in my life. And so I don't take this for granted at all. I have had the opportunity and privilege of interviewing Adjetey Anang for only God knows. I don't know if I can count, but the few moments that I've actually had to spend with him, in terms of interviewing, has always been that would has taught me a lot of lessons in life. And you can't go wrong when you're dealing with this man. Please help me welcome the one and only Ghana's very own Adjetey Anang. I won't say Pusha. Man!
Yeah.
It's been a long one.
It has, hasn't it?
Congratulations, first of all.
Thank you.
I don't know what's running through your mind right now, hitting the age you're hitting. Yeah. I have a professor friend of mine who turned that age a few times ago, a few weeks ago, and I kept getting into his head. I'm like, okay, so how are you? How are you dealing with this stage of your life? And he goes like, I'm still a young boy, please.
Yeah.
But does it really come back to you that you're still that 20-year-old boy, just walking around doing what you love to do?
Yeah. I mean, it's I can't put it in words, but you kind of. At this point, you're kind of looking out for all the symptoms that they tell you would arrest
it does
you.
reach everybody.
Would arrest you. So I'm very, very sensitive when I wake up in the morning. I'm looking for whether there are aches somewhere.
Oh, man.
Or I might find it difficult to lace my shoe. Okay, but so far so good. So
man, but the thing is, a lot of people don't believe your age. It came as a surprise to me when I got to know that you're that age, 50 years. That a lot of people don't believe it.
That's true.
Do you sometimes even don't believe it yourself? Like,
sometimes I look in the mirror. I'm like, how did I get here so fast? But like you said, a lot of people around me feel that I'm younger than the age, and so I think that and want to believe that as well. Yeah.
So I mean, your story is a unique one. You found, recognition and something that you never planned, a space you never actually planned that, okay, this is where I'm going, but it came to you. I don't know which of the blessings you want to count that in, but I mean, a lot of people won't get that. Some even got that and never made the kind of name you made from there. When you look back into all that time and all those memories you've created in people's houses and all of that, does it make you sometimes want to just shed a tear for how much of a blessing you've been to, and the impact you've made in society?
Oh yes, I mean there are always moments where I'm humbled every now and then, because you never know the kind of impact that you've made until people, really open up and say, look, because of you, there was this guy who I met recently who said it was because of me that he went to medical doctor. I'm like, how is the relation? I mean, but he told me the story, and it was amazing that people that you don't even know until you get to meet them tell you that, look, the impact that you had on them, and whether their school or their family, it's been great. And I'm always humbled. You're emotional. I'm emotional sometimes, but it just tells me that as long as I have life, you can stop, because there are people out there who may not be able to reach out to you, and yet you're inspiring them. And so I'm it puts me on my toes, watching what I say, what I do. Because sometimes we go into a mode of self-gratification where it's the self, and forgetting that whatever that you do has an impact on somebody else. So I'm more sensitive and deliberate with the things that I do and say, so that, look, I sustain the impact, if you will.
Now, things we do for love, even though a lot of people thought it was more fun than education, some of us, we grew up knowing that there was a certain education that this was actually teaching that a lot of people even didn't notice.
That's right.
It was just the fun part of it. Would you say that over the period, when you look back, you want to believe that it was more of what you stood for than what the people wanted to see? The pusher, stubborn, whatever it is they wanted to see, as against the education of it, or you didn't even notice that at all?
Oh yeah, I did. I mean, the fun part was there, and for the aesthetics and all that, but for us who were in there, it wasn't like a talk down narrative. It was more of how we allowed the stories to talk back to ourselves, because we were young people then, so we were, it was like looking in the mirror and being reflected. We're seeing our wrongs and bad choices, and we allowed the storylines to speak to us, because we had sort of collected data from real life scenarios, and then we're just, as it were, performing it and for our audiences. And so I saw it more of, okay, Adjetey, well, Pusha's character is more like, if you go this route, these are the consequences.
Exactly.
And so when I step out of Pusha, the lessons that I'm taking from him as Adjetey, and that has guided me. I'm not saying it was a perfect scenario, because those of us in those age, we didn't know anything social media, and so the whole idea of being sensitized into when you're under the spotlight, when social media comes in, is a new area for us. And so we made a few mistakes in there, but we always go back to those days where we were speaking to ourselves, and that for me, I would say that it impacted us even more than we thought, than even the audience.
The very first time that you saw yourself play that role, where were you? in whose company were you? Did your family, any of them, had to just be like, okay, where did you get this from?
So I remember where I was. I think I was not prepared to watch it at home.
Okay.
Because I didn't know what to expect. So I had informed Mom that there was this role that I was going to play. It was a bit of a bad boy, but somebody has to play Judas Iscariot. So for lessons to be learned, I wanted to make it sort of break the ice a bit and water it down. So, but I didn't have the courage to be in their presence for them to watch because prior to that there had been adverts coming up, this new program, and so they're looking out for it. So I think I watched it in a friend's house, Wakefield, I remember. So later on, when I got to that, I was like, my mom was like, when she does them,
you need to explain
that. But eventually she told me that, well, she knew I was going to play a bad, but she didn't know that it was this bad boy, But they've always been supportive,
Okay.
Even though, beginning they were be uncomfortable, they realized that over time it hadn't changed me or impacted me. If more I was consistent with the upbringing and all the qualities that the values that they had embedded in me, and I was consistent with that, and so they were at peace that this was not a character that would have any influence on me, Adjetey, and so it's been the same with all families. But that first day, I didn't have the courage to be.
I know. I mean, really, as a child at that time, were there other? I mean, in your life, as you as a person, were there other real life situations, vices you may have been involved, or you may have seen around the neighborhood, which contributed to you being able to really manifest that character very well?
Oh, yeah.
Some people want to just draw the distinction, but
lots of that, peer pressure and all that. I mean, the first time I took a cigarette was in the company of my mates.
Before the production?
Oh, way before. That was in school. And, they were passing it around, and it got to me, and I was like, oh, I passed it around. The guy said, hey, come over there, make you chocolate. We say you be special, that kind of thing. And, I took it in and I started coughing badly, and then they kind of pat me on the back. And the same thing with drinking, that same thing happened, and then you're in the midst of, very, very bad guys. And somehow I found it very strange that those who were closest to me were one of the bad boys, in school, and they kind of protected me in a way over time. They realized that, look, I was a genuine guy. And so whenever maybe a girl is coming to, they see me talking to a girl or a girl coming to, they're like, hey, stay away from me. They were kind of overprotective of me. But I picked a lot of, and it's amazing to know that even the character Pusher was made up, of course, with the help of the director and writer, was made up of 3 characters in school. Oh, this guy who had this walk that I exaggerated a bit into Pusher to give it some unique identity, and then this my Ghana brother who does things very, very dramatic, larger than life. He watches a movie and you wouldn't want to see the movie again because he tells you from the soundtrack. Boom, 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 boom. And on back Sylvester Stallone. The sound that comes with it. He gives you everything. And very dramatic and larger than life characters, and that I also brought into
from there.
And he had these phrases and jargons that were very, very practical, people could relate to. So it wasn't something that I created from outer space. These were, personalities and mannerisms that people I picked from real life that I fused them together, and in the direction of the writer as well. We made it happen. So as realistic as possible, the real life scenarios.
I'm sure a lot of people would be very extremely surprised that the character that you played is way opposite the kind of life you live, even as much as you've lived, in spaces like that. Was it a Christian background? Was it your mom? What kept you on that level?
I think it was a combination of things. I think one of the sayings that never left me or hasn't left me is when my grandma keeps saying, it got to a time when she started, I just continue. A good name is better than riches. Okay. She always says that, whether in Ghana or in English, and it stayed with me. That I needed to protect that name, and whatever it is, I shouldn't stain the family name. I should, if even I have bad examples from uncles and aunties, I should, make that, I should reverse that in our next generation, So it was a point where I was like, I carried the burden of all that was not okay in our family, and be that kind of light to change, have a new beginning, and also inspire my younger cousins and siblings. And so I think her words stuck to me more, and also my mom. She's the type of person who would speak more with her life than talk a lot. The things that she would do, and practically that that this is what she's saying, and she hardly talked, but she lived by example. And so I think for the most part, these two have had a really impact on me.
Have you had to apologize to anyone randomly for some of the roles you've played, dating back from when you started? Maybe something you did in the movie somebody felt like, Do
I even remember? I think that probably when it had to do with there was this movie that we did that was a bit sensitive, because then people had experienced that in real life. And so I met this lady at a premiere, and she was a bit aggressive, and I was like, okay, I apologize, because we also try as much as possible to depict real life scenarios, but we didn't know that we're telling your story, and the way in which we're telling it was even compounding your issue. And so I apologized to her that some of these things were stories that we just enact, and not that we decide how the story should go in a way. And so I apologized, and she was okay about it. But the thing is that since then she's been a loyal fan. You
know what I mean? It always gets to that point, right? Well, if you just joined us here on the show, Adjetey Anang is my guest in the studio now. He's launching his memoir. We're going to be getting into it right now. He's going to be 50 years in July, and celebrating that, he's put together a memoir that we'll be looking at. Now, it goes across other issues that, a lot of people would just put works out there and will never have to talk about it, but he's taking that up, and so want to get into it. It's got to do with Health Foundation, and a birthday celebration that is also coming up on the 8th of July as well. So let's get into the memoir right now. Well, why did you decide that you want to put this together?
Well, I thought it was about time to do so, because I've moved from two phases. I mean, people would say that I was in a certain generation, but I'm now in another generation.
You continue to be in other generations as well.
And I thought that, look, the timing was right for me to sort of chronicle my last 50 years, or the years through school, through work, through bad choices, the good, the bad, the ugly, through marriage till now. And I felt that the timing was right. I didn't want to wait, because we have a generation who are budding and want to take up the world, but I still needed to let them realize that there are things that they need to really consider. Otherwise, they will repeat the mistakes that we did. And especially in this age of social media, their challenges are even broader. So I thought that the time was right. For me, I shouldn't wait till maybe I'm 100 or 80 before I do that, because the whatever lessons would have been a bit been outdated. So that was why I'm putting this up. It's not to say that I've ticked all the boxes in terms of what I really want to become. I'm not there yet, but I still think that I have little in the container that I can share, and sort of celebrate those years. So that was the main motivation.
Who are we going to see there the day?
Hopefully we'll have the old faithfuls coming by. Definitely we've always remained a family. We still have a group page. This is the For Love family, and we've kept in touch over the years. So definitely they'll all be around.
Okay, and don't be scared to read. It's not a part 2 of I'm Not Pronouncing. We don't want to get to that point anymore. but I mean, we're beginning to understand. I mean, elsewhere in the West, this is the normal thing.
That's right.
Anybody will just chronicle their life, real life situation, and put out there, and they'll be okay. If one's own came up and there's a whole lot of issues, we are not too sure about what yours is going to bring. But you think it's the way to go. You think we don't have to fault individuals or celebrities for looking up to their lives and saying that it can be an example to someone?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. It's like, because there's a perception out there where in some corners they think that we are superhumans, where we can't do
without faults.
Without faults, that's it. And we're so perfect. Everything is so. But geez, look, we're human beings, and we make the same mistakes that you do. The only thing is that we're just projected, out there. We're under the spotlight, but the light hides a lot of things that we aren't, and therefore you would be deceiving yourself. And we wanted to break that ice, and what this book does is sort of break that, and get people to know that, oh, look, they feel the way we feel, even though we see them in all the nice dresses and cars and things like that. They have things that they are grappling with on a day-to-day basis. That doesn't make them aliens, and so the book helps to do that, to bring us closer to our audience. That we're human beings. Some of us may be like the case of Yvonne Nelson. I mean, you look at where she had come from without knowing her dad and all that, and the things that she had to grapple with in the journey. It has a way of shaping you and forming you into a certain way, and how you react to people, how you become over defensive, and how you don't want people to come into your space directly. And it's not as a result of the choice that you're making, but as what is informing and what has shaped you to what you are now. And so we want them to have that human touch and really understand us even more, and not be quickly condemn us or judge us, because get to know us even more. And so this book does, the memoir does that a lot, and opens.
What's your most captivating event in that book? The one that a lot of people do not know, but anytime you even see it in the book, you go like, okay, this one. This one.
That's a tough one, because there are a couple in there.
Okay, I want one or two will do.
I mean, so let me go out with this one. So there's this girl who social media, you know how social media goes, like,
crazy stuff.
As I said, we're not sensitized. We have to find our own way, make mistakes, learn. And I sort of got to carry her on. I mean,
lead her on,
as it were. And because conversations, emojis, then it became now into pictures and things like that. And then I realized that, where we've gotten to, because wifey saw a few messages, and it was like, okay, it's awakening. Yeah. And I was kind of like, okay, Charlie, this is it. I mean, things will look bad from here. And so I decided to sort of cut that. And the lady said, no way. We've come this far.
That's what the lady said?
Yeah. She's
this real life situation?
She stuck to me. She stuck to me. She was going to give me wahala. It wasn't easy.
Was it Ayunam Bidi or what's the name? What's the name?
The name? Oh, I'll code the name.
But you do remember?
Oh, vividly. Wahala. She gave me wahala.
Really? Yes. You met her in person?
Eventually, I had to. Because it's more to like let her know that this is from here is going to lead you to there, and it's going to impact you, me, as well, and all our loved ones and all that. And because she had found somebody who would I sort of was nice to her. I wasn't perhaps from previous people that she's met. I was giving her more like a fatherly kind of figure too. So she had found an angel, and she wouldn't want to.
So she genuinely wanted to be part of your life.
Yes.
As maybe some figure, or not a lover.
I mean,
she was all in all.
No, she said that she. I mean, if that was there, she was willing to.
She didn't know you were married at that time.
Oh, she knew. She didn't care. She didn't care. That was not.
How pretty, because social media people look way different when you see them in person. When you saw her in person, what came into your mind? Like, oh, she's pretty, or she's not really who I was thinking she was.
Oh, I mean, she was pretty. She was pretty. There was nothing like still. Her pictures were there. It wasn't for me her looks. it was just a habit that I had cultivated, and so it didn't really matter how you looked like.
Okay.
I was in a zone of just answering people's messages.
Yeah.
I know I could sit the whole day for hours answering everybody's message, because I thought that to stay in the limelight, you needed to
engage with your fans. Yeah.
Your fans, and that was wrong. But I had to learn that later on. And so I was just having conversations with not just her, but other fans as well. But hers went,
to that extent,
because she was stuck. She didn't want to move out, and wifey had to come in and all that. It was a bit messy, So
eventually, how did you resolve that?
Well, you have to read the book, because if I do that, then you won't read it again.
Probably we have to call the pastor or something.
Yeah.
But we were able to move past that, and
but every now and then new challenges come up. That there have been other challenges that also came, and in other forms and other ways, and you're sitting back and people think that Adjetey is the best, it's this, is that, he wouldn't do this, he wouldn't do that. But actually, you read the book
this before.
Read the book and see. It's we're human. We're human beings. But the good thing is that realizing that this is where you had a weakness in, this is where you faltered, and you have to, fight and push and live above that, because there are people looking up to you. I mean, if I mess up right now and I'm down the ladder, I mean, people are going to be disappointed. People are like, okay, so after all, it's not possible. Yeah. And you shatter people's dreams and hopes and all that. And I don't want to be that person to do that. And so I'll pick up the pieces, I'll tell you where I fell, but we need to keep pushing, and that's what life,
I'm sure one of the best things that ever happened to your life is your wife, and the son that you have.
Oh yes.
How have you been able to go through all of that? You have a very beautiful woman. She's always in the corner, backing you and all that.
Yeah.
A proud son, stubborn son.
Sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes, and all of that. How is marriage, in terms of that?
Yeah, it's been mostly everything that, I didn't really, how people tell you about marriage, and then you get in and you realize that, it was way more than, you were told. Even counseling. Counseling becomes very, very ceremonial, but then you get into it, and there are daily issues. You'd be amazed that something like a bang of a door can irritate you just because you are used to closing the door.
Exactly.
So many little things, and put it off. And you're living under the same roof. You can't go anywhere. You have to deal with your own issues. It's been a learning process, and most for me has been unlearning, because I grew up, for example, knowing that, my phone is my phone. I have to keep my password. I have to, even have phone calls, nobody can answer, because I saw that happen with my uncles and my parents and all that. And so I don't get it when my phone goes, there's a call, and then my wife picks it up, and I'm like, what's that? That's my phone. Yeah. You have to ask me, and she's like, really? No, we don't do that. My daddy can pick my mom's phone. My mom can pick daddy's phone, and they have a conversation. You think that the person called, and that's normal. And these are two separate upbringing and experiences. Now we need a convergence to find out what would work for us. And then we come to a compromise, and that, what, look, when I have access to your phone or your password, it's not for me to pry into your space. It's for me to look out for the things that sometimes I may take for granted, because sometimes I'm so naive. A girl sends a message, I'm like, this is nothing. But it's like, no. When we women say this word, what we mean is actually that. And I'm like, really? Oh, I didn't know, that kind of thing. So she becomes more like looking out for me, because I'm also in the spotlight, and so that she's guiding me on how women behave and how women react, and not that she wants to let all women not talk to me, that kind of thing. So I had to learn and really come to a point where she's protecting me and protecting what we have, so that we don't have issues that come in the way. And so it's been for me a learning and an unlearning process, because there are things that I thought this was how men should be and how marriage should be, but I was wrong. And so I'm eternally grateful for her for sticking by me through thick and thin, and my son, I've just been the example that, I don't want him to ever say, choose an example outside of me, of my family. I want to be his number one example and idol. And so, we're still moving on. We're still moving on.
So one of the most difficult thing any, man would want to take is that you're getting into marriage, you're looking out for a blessing, and the whole thing they make it look like it's the ultimate, which of course it is to a large extent, which is a child, it's not coming, and you now start asking yourself questions. Did you get to a point where you had to ask? You have to now fight with God and say, you know what, you brought me here, and you put that in the book?
Yeah, well, I think so. Yeah, I think so.
You captured some moments of that.
Oh, definitely.
You had to battle it with God.
Yeah,
and ask him questions.
it was just in the same scenario that Abraham in the Bible, where you promise and tell him that he's going to be a father of nations, and at 70, 80, 90, still no child. I mean, come on, man. I'm getting old. It's not going to happen. So same way, we've had where that told us that we're going to have kids and all that, and there was no sign of that, and it was really eating us up. And a few times we didn't want to even go for an outdoor invite because it kind of just and somehow people around us were giving birth. People were not even in marriage. People, somebody will meet somebody and then a pregnancy comes and they don't even plan for it, and they're like, we're doing all the things that you want us to do. We're living good lives. We're making sure that we're not doing wrong and obeying your instructions and laws. And still, there was nothing. And so it really got to us. It got to me especially. And even though I would have taken it in, and but in my own private space, I'll deal with it. And those were some of the most trying times of our marriage.
Let's talk about the foundation. What exactly is all about?
So the foundation is called 1 in a Million. It's sensitive to me, to my wife as well, because of some experiences that we had as far as health, accessing good quality health is concerned. And so the focus is for women and children, and it's a 10-year kind of project. And where it's a non-profit, project, and we're adopting the crowdfunding kind of campaign, where we're relying on 100 influencers who are committing to donating 1 cedi a day for the next 10 years. So like 30 cedis a month, 365 cedis a year, to be the base, and then they would in turn reach out to their fan base who would also buy in, so that we impact, the lives of women and children, especially. And so we're in talks with the National Health Insurance, as well as Department of Kolebu, the pediatric department as well, and other partners that are coming on board, so that we make this very credible that no CD is abused or and not spent wisely, so that those who are supposed to benefit from this benefit from it. And so basically this is
so it's going to also kick off on the 8th of July when the book is launched. Precisely, and all that. How many months, weeks, years did it take you to write the book?
I think it's been close to a year.
Okay.
So. Yeah, close to a year.
You've been busy.
Yeah.
All right, if you just joined us, Adjetey Anang is my guest in the studio, and we've been having conversations on his new book that is coming up. You want to look out for that. On the 8th of July, it's going to be out. So we're going to tell you where you can get them. I mean, when the book is out, we're going to come here and review the book as well. So those of you out there who are wanting to get a copy already, there'll be a way for them to get a copy.
Oh, yes.
When it's out.
We'll definitely make it known on social media platforms and all our media houses as well. So yeah, definitely they'll have.
Do you sometimes think about your pension, and you've got plans for it?
Yeah, I've given it a thought before, and I didn't like the way some people ended. Yeah, so I've put plans.
Yeah, especially your space.
Yeah,
there's been a lot of issues in your space.
Yeah,
and
too many,
if you think about it really well, you don't want to be part of that.
Too many. So. You kind of trying to cut off a lot of things, and when I tell people that I'm not living for myself anymore. I'm living for my future, and for my son as well, making sure that those things that I didn't have, he would have, and life would be a bit more easier for him. So yes, I've thought about pension, and I'm working towards it very well, vigorously.
Okay. Is there any other thing that you want to share? It could be something that you feel that the youth should know, because there's too much going on right now. Just a lot of things going on right now.
I mean, I think that for this we're on like a 100-meter race all the time, and in most cases, life is not about 100 meters. Sometimes it's a 10,000 marathon, a 5,000 marathon, and we must realize that we cannot change what should take. For example, when you put yam on fire. You can't expect it to cook in a minute.
Yeah.
The process of cooking yam has been from the beginning of time, and it still is. Technology will not make it any different. And so it teaches us that we need to learn to stay in the process. Be cooked. People say that we don't like digging, but we love diamonds. I mean, if you don't dig, you won't get the diamonds.
Exactly.
So stay in the process, be baked, and then when the time comes, you'll be able to excel. But we want to jump the process and be in the front and be in the limelight, so that when any challenge comes, then we crumble because there's no substance. And I want to urge, and as much as our technology and our life has become a fast-paced kind of place, we shouldn't forget that traditionally you have to stay in the process. We crawl, we start walking, we fall, we walk before we run. That's the foundation, and that should be applied in every walk of life, where we stay in the process, we learn the rudiments, and then when we come out baked, we excel. And that's what I
want you to take a run with me, okay? It's going to be a good run. All right, are you ready?
Okay.
All right. Can we go?
What are you up to again?
Good morning. Good morning, my sugar. How are you, darling? I just want you to know that I love you. This is a pre-birthday message. Of course, I had to be the first to wish you a happy birthday. I love you so much. I love everything that you represent. I love the fact that we've grown together. I see a lot of people set in their ways, women set in their ways, men set in their ways. I love the fact that we share a common trait of desiring to be better on and on, to keep improving on ourselves. And I love being on this journey with you. I love all the fun I have with you. I love the fact that you let me be me. You let me explore all the things I want to do. You allow me to dream and achieve. I love the fact that we are together on this path, and despite all the challenges and all the storms that we've had to weather together, we're going stronger and stronger by God's grace. I just want you to know that I'm going to continue to be by your side, and by God's grace, all the things that we have prayed, we have prayed for, we have believed, we have trusted God, one at a time, we're going to see the manifestation of them.
All right, so God bless you. I feel we love you too. And so from the entire team, we think that you've done a lot in this industry. We don't take it for granted, the impact you've made in society. Everybody talks about you, and this is from us to you. So please, congratulations, happy 50th, and in advance, and we love you. Okay, so this is for you.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, I don't do this to you.
Oh,
not on air.
Well, we just appreciating.
Wow. I'm so touched. I'm so touched. Thank you.
All right, so that's what it is. We'd like to say a very big thank you to Multi Photo Frames. Locate them NPP Office Junction, Fanofa Road, Kokomlemle, right opposite the Keller Health Center. Call them on 0240-492-123. And Adjetey, it's been insightful. This is going to be one of my best interviews I've done. I think you've been a great impact in society. We love you. Happy 50th. And when I get to 50 years, I'd like to remember this conversation. God bless you for coming to my brother. We'll be there on the 8th to support you as well. All right, great stuff. Guys, that'll be our morning show for this morning. We love you. Thanks a lot for tuning in and being a part of it. God willing, tomorrow we're back again. Myself, Adjetey, the Golden Girl, of course, Roslyn Felly. We're going to be here. To every one of you out there, keep doing good and communicate. Thanks for watching.